Check 1 2. Alrighty, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to the stream. Alrighty, how's everyone doing today? Oh, we're extra quiet. Hold on. Fixing some microphone issues. Technical difficulties. We're extra quiet. Hold on. Fixing some microphone issues. Technical difficulties. Nope, I know. Welcome to the Real Rookie Racing GT3 Zandvoort race. How are we doing today, folks? Let me know. Sound off in the chat. Welcome. We're following along with speed bump here. Let's see. I'm going to tab back in momentarily. How are we doing, folks? Welcome. Just getting all my windows put together here. Thanks for hanging on. And we're in. We're at the last couple minutes of our practice session as we watch the Inferno go sliding off the track there. Heading into Sector 2 with speed bump. Getting into the really technical, twisty bits of the track here. Let's see how speed bump is getting ready to set up his next lap. He is on the softs. Most drivers opting for the softs in the race, especially the BMW drivers, as they're extra kind on their tires. So we'll see how the strategy ends up working out for the Grand Prix, but so far, so good. Speed bump, third place, following up his previous effort of the win in our last race. In the Mazda MX-5s. And I believe in GT3. Heading down the main straight, crossing the start-finish line. Maxing out in that 6th gear, really pushing the limits of the BMW here. Nice smooth entry in turn 1. Setting himself up for a good sector 1 here, really pushing the grip limits of the car. Nice middle carry of the momentum, takes a wide exit. Rides the exit of the, or the outside of the corner there, carrying that momentum. Let's see how he takes this corner down a gear. Drops the 5th, takes the middle of the road, holds the grip. Good exit speed. Not putting up a scary special lap, but not too far behind his personal best. About half a second. Dropped it all right there in that previous corner. Let's see how he sets himself up here. Losing a little bit more time, but gets a good exit, gaining it back. Anybody in chat, let me know if audio is good, anything I need to change. Happy to get it going. As we follow along the speed bump here, let's see what kind of lap he sets. He's about half a second down. We'll follow along with our current leader. Last lap, session best 134.596. Making the Ferrari work. It's finally a Ferrari coming alive at seemingly. We'll see if anybody else has a good lap to set, but at the moment, seeming to do pretty well for himself. That's the end of our practice session here, getting ready to go into qualifying. What's going on, Patchy? Jawa, thanks for the notice. Hopefully everything looking good on your guys' end. Let me know if any issues are arising. Alrighty, should be good. Really looking forward to this one. These guys have been putting in a lot of practice for this season. A lot of good competition. Jawa in the Lamborghini has had some dominant sessions, especially the ones with the long straightaways where he can really pull away. But he's had El Garrito, Mr. Ayash, following closely behind in the Ferrari, making that car, while it's not that much quicker in the straights, or very quick at all in the straights, he can make it work in the corners, and he's really putting in a great effort. To see this car put up top of the session so far, love to see it. Looks like we are green. Oh, as we're inside the pit lane building. Here we go. Mr. Ayash is the first one out of the pit lane in the foggy start of the session of Zandvoort. Here we go. Change of weather. Excellent. Why don't we watch what Mr. Garrito does. We'll see along his point of view. What's he seeing? Wow, that is foggy. Should only be for the first 2 minutes, so no worries about setting a fast time with a lot of fog on. Oh, looks like it might even be clearing out now. There we go. Looking great. Oh. Really making it work for him in Sector 3. That seems to be the sector that really works for the Ferrari, especially pulling around this big banked curve here, setting himself up for a flying lap. Let's see what he's got in him. Mr. Ayash. A little late on the power, but gets a really great exit. Full attack mode. Takes a wide entry and then swings the car through the corner, really using the momentum here. That's really what this whole track is all about, is making sure you can keep your momentum and only really using the brakes when absolutely necessary. Using more of the throttle pedal and the brakes to turn the car itself. Swinging it over that bump, really handles it well. Let's see how much he can attack this corner here. Here's where the Ferrari's going to make its money in the twisty bits of Sector 2. It's going purple so far. People behind gaining little bits. I'm I'm going to guess in some of those straightaways where other cars can accelerate a little bit harder, but so far, 2 purple sectors for Mr. Ayash. Let's see if he can wrap the lap up well, attacking the apex really well as well, keeping it together. Final corner, right on the white painted line. Keeps the car on the racing line. Found the grip, swinging it off the corner, and let's see the first flying lap. 34.545, just about as fast as he was able to set in the practice session. We'll see if anybody else has something to say about it. So far, Tommy Boy, 35.6, Jawa 36.0, Apache 38.3. May have to go digging through some settings real quick. There we go, that's better. Overall standings. Mr. Elgarito. Holding it up. Let's see what Tommy Boy's got. He's in the BMW. He's in his, well, that's a livery. And forgive me, folks, if I don't have every livery installed correctly. I was working on that before the session got started. Hopefully, we can get that sorted out, if there are any issues. Let's see what Tommy Boy's got cooking. He's got 1 purple mini sector and 2 green so far. Let's see if he can get into the 34s with Mr. Elgarito. The other guys seem to have taken a bit of a slow first push lap, just starting to feel the grip, see where it's at. Ayash just kind of attacking the circuit, going at it as fast as he can. So far, oh, he even goes a 10th faster in front of Tommy Boy here. An excellent lap. Let's see, 7/10 away. He's in the 34s. Oh, sorry, forgive me, he's in the 35s. Jawa jumps up to second place. 34.6, only 1 7/10. Sorry, 1/10, 7/100ths away from Mr. Ayash. Getting a reset of tires and fuel. Gonna go back out and attack. Let's follow along. Ooh, Botlando back in the pits. I'm too slick for you. Putting in a 1:35.9. Times are starting to get closer here. Really bouncing all over the curbs, attacking as hard as he can. Who's he got in front of him? Who's in this white Audi up here? Mr. Bullet. We'll see what Slick has to say about that. We'll follow along for a moment. He's going to get some dirty air here. Bullet probably on an outlap with the way he's setting himself up for the corners here. Not sure. Slick. Ooh, gets a little twitch on the corner exit there. Was going to go up on his time, but had to lift off the throttle. Now sitting right on top of his personal best for this session. Still dealing with the dirty air. Probably even worse at this point of the lap. Oh, gets really close to the back of Bullet. Swings the car around. He's going to get the slipstream here, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. He backs off. He's going to set himself up for the next lap. Maybe even return to pits. He's going to let Josh Fulton through. Alrighty. Speaking of which, we'll follow along. He's setting himself up for a fast lap. No, he's on a... Yes, that is true. He's setting himself up now. We're going to follow along with Josh now. Bullet 139.8. Tommy Boy still the closest one to Jawa. And Elgarito. Those three all within a second of each other, but speed bump pulling up P4, 1.2 seconds away. Looks like he's on a purple first sector. Hold the phone now. Hold the phone. He's in his second sector, which he didn't do a personal best in, but he is up a full second on his current lap, so wow. He's really pushing it here. He might even catch up to Jawa. Might be able to gain a little bit of a slipstream on the edge of this here from the Inferno. Oh, probably just outside of slipstream range, but an excellent lap from Speed Bump. 134.6 puts him up just in front of Jawa. What a great lap. Love to see that from Speed Bump. Keeping his form in the momentum of the previous few races that we've had with him. Really showing out. Love to see it. Been able to put some more practice time in behind the wheel. Gets past the Inferno. He is only half a tenth down on his personal best, so he's on for a good lap. Keep up with him momentarily. Jawa. Wow. Really sets the session's best lap on fire, just within a tenth of Ayash, but in front of him. Ayash going to have to answer here. He's got another 20 minutes. So the gauntlet has not been thrown yet. Nobody's setting 33s quite yet, but with the right amount of grip, right amount of fuel, maybe even a slipstream on the last part of the track, you might see somebody creep into that range. Ooh, Speed Bump just hanging on by a thread. Oh, had to lift for a little bit of oversteer there. Just about a tenth down off his personal best. Great lap, though. Hanging on by a thread. Into the pits he goes. Lando still in the pits. El Garrito biding his time. Jawa setting himself up. We're going to follow along with Jawa. He's going to go for another PB, so might as well hang on with him. Any viewers right now, welcome to the chat. Welcome, welcome. This is the Real Rookie Racing stream for the North America GT3 Championship. I got some fellas in the Real Rookie broadcast booth with me watching. Mr. Thorne and Mr. Project Purple, good to see you guys too. Oh, so we see Tommy Boy firing off into the barriers behind Jawa. Let's see if that threw Jawa off in any ways. Up about half a tenth. Drops it, but gains it back on the exit. We're going to see what kind of line he takes. Ooh, keeps it. Wow, takes a really interesting line through there. Not throwing a lot of speed, but keeping the grip and keeping the momentum. So we'll see how that serves him in the race. It's probably going to be good for defense, but we'll see how others take to it when they're on the attack. The Lamborghini is really... Oh, so we see Jawa thrown off by his Lamborghini brethren, Mr. Josh Fulton, right in front of him. But the Lamborghini is really temperamental to a little bit of dirty air going through the corners, and it's already an understeery bit of a boat to drive in the Assetto Corsa version of it. So, yeah, you can see the understeer and the lockup there, struggling with another car in front. Maybe Josh is going to give him a slipstream on the front here. Are they taking my advice? Are they listening in? Let's find out. Mr. Fulton, will he let his teammate by? Or are they on two different run plans here? Oh, Jawa returning to pits. We'll stick with Mr. Fulton. 36.4. He's pulling the times in. 0.2 up. Oh, drops that time. Let's see if he can recover a little bit here. Up about a tenth. We're seeing some people jumping around in the leaderboard here, so I'm Too Slick For You shuffled down to 6th place. Lando takes his position from before with a time of 1:35.7. Slick 1:35.9 currently. Rev really showing up, 7th place. 136.3. He's got a little bit to improve there, but he'll be competitive nonetheless. Mr. Brian, number 7, 136.3. Oh, wow, only 2 thousandths off of Mr. Rev's lap. That's awesome. That'll definitely be a knife fight for 6th, 7th place there. Big Dean Energy coming in, stealing right where Rev was. Josh Fulton taking a chunk out of the sand there, not having it for this lap. Maybe he'll go for another. He was up on a green for Sector 2. Down about 2 seconds on this lap, unfortunately. He'll reset here, hopefully, and enter turn 1 with a clean mind. A new lap, new driver, reset. There's always a chance for another when you got 16 and a half minutes left. Really you can really tell how much earlier the Lamborghini has to brake compared to that BMW driving as well. It's crazy. See, speed bump is about half a second off. Jawa and Mr. Ayash in the pits. Slick down about 2 seconds. He's probably going to be throwing up a new lap once he gets around on this one. Big Dean Energy, is he up to anything? 36-0 on that previous attempt. He's probably going to have to reset here down about 4.5 seconds. Mr. Brian, number 7, from the audience. Hello. Good to see you, my friend. All drivers now settling in just around, most of the drivers I should say, settling around a 136.5 second lap. The Inferno really swinging it. Oh, getting a message. Oh, hello. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Mr. Brian, how are you doing, my friend?
Pretty good. How are you, Base?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Hopefully, if anybody in the audience, if there are any issues picking up on Brian, somebody let me know. But Brian, how are you doing today? What are you thinking of the track and where you're how you're driving right now?
Oh, I haven't raced here before, really, so it's quite something, kind of learn the track and everything. I think I'm slowly starting to pick up on it. Now, I got a question for you,
yeah.
Base. If you were me, what are, let's say, getting exits on corners, what corners do you think would be a good thing to get, a long run? What advice do you have for someone that's kind of new to racing here?
Oh, well, that's a great question. So for me, honestly, I'm going to follow along with Speed Bump since we're talking about it, because he's going to show probably a great example of what to do, especially with the BMW. The corners, if you're watching the stream here, corners that he's taken the hairpin really super wide. I'm thinking that's probably going to be a key corner to set yourself up on. Honestly, to any of the 180 hairpins, so turn 1, I think that's turn, what was that, 2, 3, 4 is the hairpin. That sets you up for basically the back stretch, which is a full throttle, flat out.
Gotcha, yeah, that's a good point.
And then the beginning of Sector 2, as you take that high-speed right-hander, that second pinch in after the first corner as you're turning right to get into Sector 2 more, and then you're turning left for that other hairpin. Those corners are really key as well. The rest of the track, as long as you're hitting your marks on the brakes and turning in at the right time, you should be pretty much all set, making sure I've been telling the audience so far, really carrying your momentum. This is a momentum-based track, especially with GT3 cars, which, while they do have a lot of aero and downforce with the front and rear wings, they are still closed cockpit sports cars, and they rely on most of their grip coming from the tires and the contact surface. So I would recommend making sure you're really hitting your marks on the brakes. You can brake really late into turn 1, and pretty much all the braking zones in the BMW. It's really awesome on the brakes, and the brakes don't fade, which is fantastic. So turn 1 really critical. Turn 3 and 4, setting yourself up like speed bump is here, carrying your momentum through the top of that corner, and going deep on the brakes and just making, just hit your marks. I would say, I think you're going to probably be successful following some of the other guys as well, just for lap 1, and then be like, oh, okay, I see what I could do, and you'll catch up, I'm sure, in no time.
Gotcha. Yeah, some really good points there and everything. I've noticed, like, the left side tires really seem to struggle with heat, it seems like, on this track.
They do. This is a left tire. That is going to be your tire that is restricting you the most as far as performance. So however that tire is doing is however your lap is going to go. So nursing that, especially in the later stage before you get to your pit stop and then near the end of the race, that'll certainly be critical. Making sure you're just managing that left tire, not putting too much steering angle on in some of the corners that you have to, and when you are taking the corners, just not leaning too hard into that left side. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do, my friend. It's looking to be, I was just telling the audience a few minutes ago that 6th, 7th spot is looking like it's going to be prime real estate for everybody all the way back to 10th or 11th place. So.
Gotcha. You think probably running a little bit lower tire pressure on the left-hand side would be ideal as well?
Yes, definitely, because it's going to heat up and start to that air is going to start to expand and pressurize that tire as you go anyway. So just maybe one click lower than the maybe 1 or 2 clicks lower than the right side. It's probably going to be good for you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to interview you, Base, and reverse
Excellent.
here.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate you letting me into the booth. So
absolutely.
Yep.
More than happy to have you. Thank you, my friend, and looking forward to seeing you more on track.
All right, yeah, give me about a minute or two, and I'll see if I can improve a couple more, fractions of a second.
Excellent. We'll see you then, my friend.
All right, see you. Thanks.
That was Mr. Brian, number 7. I am going to pull up the, well, we've got 9.5 minutes to go here. I'm going to look really quick for the championship standings as we speak. Taking a quick look at the track. Speed bump, hold your horses. As we were watching, just set the fastest lap of the session, 33.9s, folks. We're there. We have arrived. That is fantastic. Okay. So currently, Jawa leading the rest of the field, 55 points, Team Techley. We'll get back to speed bumps lap, I promise. No worries. Leading with 55 points, second place, Mr. Tommy Boy. What? 42 points. Putting in those consistent... Oh, speed bump takes a chunk out of the curb there. Excellent to watch this. Watch the suspension really doing its work. Game looking fantastic on the Aegis C13 filter, if anybody's wondering. Mr. Ayash Elgarito in third place with 41 points, just 1 point behind Tommy Boy. Bot Lando in fourth with 34. Seb Bellew in fifth with 28, really consistent, getting those points where it matters. Speed Bump in sixth place with 25. Parmesan in seventh with 19. I'm Too Slick For You in eighth with 17 points. Boat in ninth place with 14. And Mr. Big Dean Energy in 10th place with 13 points. Shout out to our 11th place driver. Oh, Speed Bump smashes the wall. Whew. Our top three in the pits at the moment. we'll keep up with Tommy Boy. I think we were just speaking with Mr. Brian number 7. Now he's out on track, so we'll keep up with him for a little while as well. Taking some of that advice that we were giving and watching Speed Bump and trying to put those put some of Speed Bump's interpretations into words to give encouragement to Brian. Brian right now 15th in the championship, but by the looks of it, he has a chance to get a lot more points in this event. So we'll see. This should be a lot of fun. Jawa's going to be, oh man, he's going to be fighting for the lead here soon if Tommy Boy can hang on. He's also in the BMW. His laps have been really consistent. It's going to be, man, this is going to be too tough to guess. We're going to see. Exciting stuff here at Triple R. And let's see, points reference. Oh man, first place 10 points, second is 9, and so on down to 10th place. So only the first 10 positions score points, and points are hard to come by. This is like old school Formula 1 points style, where very few points are given, and that means all of them are going to matter a lot. Each position is going to matter quite a bit. We do have more cars on track than we have points giving positions, so we'll see how this one goes. Those last 5, I'm going to say, positions from 5th to 10th, or 6, I should say, those last 6 positions, those are all going to be up for grabs between these last guys. Picking up again with Tommy Boy. Parmesan Speed Bump is kicking ass today, I agree. He honestly, the past couple weeks, since he said he's been locking in and gonna participate in some more events, he's really his pace has really stepped it up, and we love to see it. Speed Bump's a great dude, great driver. Love to see him compete with the best. Really looking forward to this one, guys. Thanks for joining us for the Triple R Real Rookie Racing GT3 race at Zandvoort today. We're keeping up with Tommy at the moment. He is just dropping that time in Sector 3 here. We'll see if he can hook it up in the final corner. There's a little bit more time gaining it back here, but not enough to set a new personal best. Josh Fulton in the pits, Slick. Oh, we've got our top three are back out on track. Speed bump not on his personal best at the moment. Jawa might get his lap interrupted here by a back marker. Rev 174. Let's see what Rev's going to do. He is up on his own lap, or he's at least fighting for a fastest lap for himself. Oh, this is going to be frustrating for Jawa. He's only got one more lap to... he's going to have to give himself some space to build. But he's got traffic behind himself as well. This is going to be extra frustrating. Oh, and just behind him in this pack is going to be our leader, or one of our leaders, El Garito. And not too far behind is Speed Bump. So we've got a bit of a snake train. Oh, Speed Bump. Spinning out, sending himself back to the pits. Oh no. Will he have an... I don't think he's not going to have enough time to make it around. Unless he does it for overtime, I think that might be it. So we'll see one final attempt. Oh, it was Jawa's building up a queue behind him. Rev drops back. So we can see the... Ooh, grabs the sand a little bit. Not the best for setting yourself up for a hot lap, but it shouldn't affect his top speed here too much. Let's see what Jawa can throw down. Now he's got a pretty clear... Oh, he resets. He wasn't going to have a clear track. Speed Bump returns to pits. El Garito, the final one, giving it a last-ditch effort, but he's behind Patchy. He's already almost 2/10 down. This isn't going to be enough. Maybe he's just out there for the bit. Just getting some more practice in. Trying a different line here. Into the last 10 seconds. Final lap for everybody on track. Only a handful of cars still on track. Most people pretty content with their laps. Mr. Brian, number 7, close to his personal best, but not showing anything at this very moment. Patchy, not going super fast. Dean, within a 10th. Slick, also within 2/10 of a personal best. Ayash 7/10 away. Not going to be enough for this one. We are into overtime. Final lap for everybody. First car coming around the track at this very moment. Brian, number 7, does a 36.7 for his final lap. About 4/10 away from his personal best. Anybody else still out on their laps? Patchy and Dean, P8 and 9. The Ferrari UPS brand. It's looking like we're going to have a Speed Bump P1 out of qualifying with a 3 3/4 tenth gap. Really something else from Speed today in the BMW. Big Dean Energy putting in a new PB. Not quite enough for 6th place over Josh Fulton. Very, very close, within a 10th there. Or just about within a 10th. Bullet putting in his own PB in P14. 139.1. Not too far behind Caden. But it looks like just about all of our drivers are going to be in the pits here momentarily. Ayash still out on a lap, 6/10 down. Let's see if I can get the camera angle right. There we go. But that should just about do it for our qualifying session. If you're just joining us or joined us recently, this is the Real Rookie Racing Discord server GT3 Championship. This is the North American Championship, so people that are able to participate at normal North American times. For the East Coast, it's 9 p.m. I should say as a start time. Currently 10. And some of our drivers, like Mr. Ayash, who are from overseas, happen to be able to join us at some of these later U.S. times. So, works out for a lot of people. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you. But there we go. We're going to have a speed bump in P1. Jawa P2. El Garito P3. Tommy Boy P4. I'm Too Slick For You P5. Josh Fulton sneaking into P6 in the Huracan. Great to see his improvement over the practice session and into quali. Big Dean Energy P7. Botlando P8. Patchy P9. Rev 174 is P10. We've got Brian number 7 P11. The Inferno P12. Caden Allen P13 and Bullet in 14th place. You can see some of the drivers in the in-game chat not having a great time with the Audi. Maybe that not quite suiting this track. I would imagine that there has to be a setup where that car can be put to work, but these drivers just not able to come to terms with it super well this particular week. I'm sure it'll be more competitive at other tracks as well. So sometimes that is how the balance of these Kunos cars go. Some are better in certain circumstances than others. Some tracks have more of those types of corners than others, and so on. But here we go. Here's our grid. We're lining it up. Start of the race. 45 minutes. 45 seconds. Speed bump, P1. Jawa, P2. And El Garito, P3. We do have fog, so we're going to see how this works out. But very exciting. And 5 lights, and we're green. Speed bump gets a great start. El Garito jumps Jawa already. Jawa seemingly not getting a great start. Already sent to the back of the front 3. Tommy Boy almost getting the overtake done, but he is stuck into P3 now. Now following along with speed bump. Sorry for the jumps around, folks. Just getting the camera car set up correctly. Speed bump, holding on to P1, El Garito jumping up into P2, and Jawa P3. Really gaining on that Ferrari in the slipstream now. Oh, as Jawa spins out right behind him, locks up the brakes on the corner. That's really unfortunate. He's going to have a lot of time to have to claw that back, but if Speed Bump's able to get away with it, no traffic, it's going to be tough. Very unfortunate moment for Mr. Jawa. We're going to see what he's going to do here. Down to P12. It's going to be a tough recovery job, but if anybody has the speed and fortifications to do it, I think it's going to be Jawa. Taking Brian's position off his hands up the inside of the corner. Getting through Sector 3 as we speak. There's the rest of the pack right in front of him. His target is there. His teammate, Josh Fulton, is right in front of him. Nobody would have thought this would have happened on lap 1, but we're heading into lap 2 now. Speed bump is still P1. El Garito P2. Not able to catch up in the straightaway, but we do have a dogfight going on, just like we predicted. P5 being fought over. Tommy Boy making the move around the outside of Lando. Fantastic on the brakes with the BMW. Lando not able to hold up early on with the high amount of fuel being carried in the car. Tommy Boy able to stretch his legs on the exit of the corner, starting to gain on I'm Too Slick For You up there. Let's see what Tommy Boy's got to say. There is a podium spot up for grabs at the moment, so long as Mr. Ayash and Speed Bump stay out of trouble, but so far, we've got a fight for third place, as well as a fight for fifth. Rev hanging on great in the early laps so far, only 2.5 seconds off of P4 Tommy Boy here. Lando not totally disappearing away from Tommy Boy's mirrors yet either, but far. Oh wow, he's actually gaining quite heavy on Slick. We're going to keep up with this fight for a little while. Speed Bump seems to be stretching his legs by about a second a lap over Ayash at the moment. That BMW really in the groove, even with high fuel. Tommy Boy trying to get a good exit on his manufacturer teammate. Let's see if he's got anything to say about it. I'm Too Slick For You had a wiggle on the exit. Is he going to give him the slipstream? Speed Bump with the fastest lap so far, a 34.9 already. Tommy Boy not able to think about it on the entry, but is thinking about it on the exit. Not enough momentum to carry him through the corner there, so he'll have to pick another spot. There are overtaking opportunities around this track. He goes for a wider line for the straighter exit, seeing if he can carry this momentum up the hill and around the corners here. Twisting to the left and then back to the right, leading up to our high-speed right-hander. Slick goes defensive. Tommy Boy looking for any way by at the moment. Slick putting up a great defense, but Tommy Boy hasn't fallen for anything yet. Slides the rear of the car a little bit. He's got to keep it in control here. He is 0.8 off of his personal best, which is letting Lando and Rev back into this fight for P3 as well. Did not think we were going to have this bullet. Seems to have incurred some damage and dropping off of the pace at the moment. Was up in the standings, but now letting some of the other cars by. Very unfortunate to see, but it happens to the best of us. We've all been their bullet. 4 cars ahead of him, gaining positions now. Following along with Big Dean Energy up in 11th place. Few seconds off of Brian number 7, but up on his personal best. Working his way around the track. He has incurred also a little bit of front bumper damage. Brian number 7 a little bit of rear damage. Those two might have come together. Top sets of cars all starting to put in personal best laps as the fuel is starting to burn off. Tommy Boy getting past I'm Too Slick For You. Not to miss the move around the outside again by Tommy Boy. Working really well for him. Getting set on the brakes. Jawa gets past Patchy, recovering his way up the field. All the other cars now setting personal bests. Tommy Boy with the emphatic standout move around the outside of turn 1. That's his bread and butter seemingly this race. Really making it work for him as he slides the rear of the car. Getting through the high-speed right-hander. I would happen to guess he probably doesn't have a lot of rear downforce on this thing. As he slides it around that bump again. Really going to have to push the car as Lando making a move on Slick. Up the inside. Slick's going to have the inside for the next corner unless Lando can get it stuck around the outside, which he does. Slick not having the confidence in those I should say low speed corners where you're really relying on the mechanical grip of the tires. Lando really sending it on the brakes into that corner, locking it up a little bit, but getting a great exit. Not too far away from Tommy Boy. He's honestly, Lando, putting in some great laps. We're going to see here what the time difference was with both cars fighting. Slick on the same lap. Slick really falling off the pace here. We're going to have to see what his last lap was. Crossing the line, speed bump 34.6. Tommy Boy 35.7. Lando also 35.7, almost identical times, only off by 4 thousandths. and Slick 38.9. Starting to fall a little bit off of that. Rev might honestly have a go at him soon, except there is Jawa already closing in on the podium position, so we're going to have to keep an eye on him as we're following along. Mr. Ayash, he's keeping Speed Bump honest. He's doing a great job. P2, locked in. A car that, honestly, from our conversations after races recently, he's not a huge fan of this Ferrari. If I remember correctly, and I quote, he cannot wait to get off of the Ferrari. Oh. Are we doing? Oh, the stream is not working. There it is. Okay. We're gonna have to change some settings here. Should be a smoother stream experience, hopefully, for the people. Sorry for a potentially slow bitrate, folks. Just checking in on the stream now. Let me know if there's any difficulties on the viewing end, and we'll be happy to address it. Oh, lots of dropped frames at the moment. Let's see. Ooh, big stutters. Sorry, folks. Working on that now. Let's see.